Okay, we are live
We are
after
live
hustling.
again. This time, no, it's not Wednesday. It's Tuesday. Maybe it's good. It's Tuesday, not Wednesday, because tomorrow it's Europa League final. So people will be watching
Ah,
League final. So hopefully we'll attract more people this week doing it on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. Tell me, Zane, um mental health awareness week is this week or was it last week?
I think it was last week. So we are actually a, a bit late, but it's fine. So we're just gonna talk about mental health a little, and we are talking it in the context of hustling. I think
Yeah,
so.
and actually we did very similar episode exactly a year ago. So in
Mm,
season one, we also did an episode about mental health awareness because of Mental Health Awareness Week.
mm,
And actually, I didn't have a chance to listen to our episode from last year today, but
mm,
I just realized that it would be interesting to, listen to it beforehand and then, come here and say, okay, you know what, I was right about this and this last year,
mm,
and but actually I was wrong about this and this last year. But
mm.
actually, probably my memory will be fresh tomorrow from tonight's episode, so I will probably re-listen to the episode from last year, and I will make, let's say, comparative analysis of what we said last year and what we are saying now, because I believe that probably some of our views, opinions about mental health and maybe some strategies that we use, they
Mm,
evolved over time.
mm.
Maybe I don't believe that they are like 100% the same as they were last year, but probably loads of things stayed the same, but not all of them.
Mm, mm. Before we go into that, so are you telling me that we have already done a full year of live stream? Pretty
It's
much.
it's actually more than full year. I mean,
It's crazy.
we've been doing it since the beginning of March, but actually, the whole year is 52 episodes, and we are doing this episode 17 now,
17,
which is 57
57.
episodes. So if it wasn't for our breaks, let's say, uh, we we have done it for over a year now already, and
Crazy.
you are and we are, I think we are on the right track to 100. And 100th episode, Gary V is coming to join us, right? Because he
Yeah,
said that 100th episode of your podcast and I will join you. So yeah,
we
we
have,
are waiting for this moment.
we have to do it. When we get to 90, we'll do a tweet on Twitter, tag
Yeah,
Gary V, and
yeah,
say,
we will get our friends to spam him with that and stuff. But for today, let's talk about mental health awareness.
yes, let's bring it
uh,
back. So yeah,
do you
so
do you care to start?
yeah, so I think I'll give it a start because I do care about it, and people might or might not know that I actually do mental health volunteering. So every week I have to spend about 2 hours speaking to people who are suicidal, people who wants to kill themselves, people who wants to who go through horrible stuff basically, and they can't find a meaning in life anymore. Obviously, that's a very extreme context, but it just comes across me to go, you know what? Yes, I'm a hard worker. I work very hard. You are a hard worker. You work very hard. But sometimes it's so easy to just keep hustle, and then you forgot to check in with your own mental health, and then you're getting out really stressed, and then you feel like everything is meaningless, right? So I just thought I've learned a few things as I was doing mental health, whether it's someone who is suffering or whether it's someone who who is being approached because you have a friend or you have a whatever who says, oh, you know what, I'm really struggling, and then what can you do? Because most of the time, if people tell us, oh, I'm struggling with mental health, then we'll be like, oh my god, what should I do? What should I say? What's the right thing to do? And all those kind of things. So I just thought it would be good to talk a little bit about that in a very light format, but also maybe share some of our experiences to go whether we have actually experienced any mental health challenges ourselves during our journey. But before we start, I'm curious, like, to hear what you think, Dan. Like, for a normal person like you and me, right? We are okay. We're not like we want to kill ourselves every day.
I thought that you are referring to us as average people, but that's actually not true, right? We are not average at all, right?
No, no, no. We're not. We're in average in the sense that we don't actively experience that a lot, which we're very lucky of. But how do you know if you struggle with mental health issues and you need to reach out for support?
Hmm. Uh, I guess.
It's
I,
interesting,
I
isn't it?
just I just feel it now. I just feel it now. Like when I approach this, let's say, threshold of not being good at the moment, then I know it. I realize it because I believe that I've been through so many periods of hardship in my life that now I know when it's not going great in my
Mm,
life, let's say.
mm,
So I think I mentioned it earlier that I had a period in my life when I felt depressed, and probably I had depression even though I wasn't investigated, diagnosed by a professional. But I guess from time's perspective, the symptoms that I experienced were very much like depression. It was back in 2015, 16. So when I left home, I went to England, and it was hard to this transition from being back home, speaking
mm,
your um, uh, your um, your national language, being close to your family, friends, and then just being put in completely foreign and strange and unfamiliar place and environment. Uh, but going back to your question, is that um, you know what? Recently, I had this moment when I felt very mentally unstable. I had this really low point of my entrepreneurial journey. So I guess
mm.
it was like two months ago,
Yeah.
or maybe 1.5 months ago, when I was hustling so hard. I wanted to succeed so bad, but it didn't work out. And this one morning, I felt so bad about uh, my entrepreneurial situation, that it was just one small trigger was enough
To
for
tip you
me
over.
to break in tears.
Mm,
So
mm,
I started crying because I felt so powerless. So
mm.
so it was stupid because, like, I started crying after I discovered that my dog peed in my apartment. And I was like, it was something frustrating. It was something small, but it was like a final trigger. It was like a I don't know. It's like you build house of cards, and this one, and you put this one card on, you are trying to put this one card on top, and this
Whole thing collapse.
whole thing collapsed, and that was the moment, so
Mm,
uh, but since then I went back to meditation, and now for few weeks now I'm doing meditation regularly. Actually, meditation became a routine for me in the morning. I'm not starting my work day before I meditate for at least 10 minutes. Actually, 10 minutes is enough for me, because I'm
mm.
doing this transcendental guided
Oh,
meditation.
really? Okay.
Uh, it's very popular video on YouTube. When you search for transcendental meditation, then it's one of the top videos. Um, and you know what, I'm doing this recording every single day, the same recording. Like, it sounds crazy that you can listen to something like 10 minutes long, right, every day, and you get the same, you experience more or less the same thing. Although I believe that with time, the experience becomes deeper and deeper and deeper. So it really helps me to set myself properly for the day. So
Mm,
yeah,
mm. Yeah.
it's definitely recommended for anyone who is experienced some kind of maybe not extreme hardship, but let's say imbalance, and you feel that you need some, let's say, more of self control over your emotions, over your mental health, mental strength.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I completely agree. And, and I always, from my observation about, working with people who are struggling with mental health, obviously not talking about those people who are diagnosed with like proper depression or maybe something biochemically going wrong in their physical body or whatever. But I think most people, we all go through, for me it's like a scale. You go through like a very light sort of stress, sadness, loneliness, depression, then you get into the really serious, really bad mental health. So it's kind of like a spiral down thing. And just by you sharing, and I go through this as well, which is like sometimes you work really hard and you lie down on the bed, you think like, why am I doing so much? I don't know, why am I doing all of this? It's so tiring. There's no, what's the meaning of all of this and this and that. And it's those little moments that we have to catch ourselves out, and then to help ourselves really. Because I think most of the time, now it's a bit more obvious, but in the past, I think people used to not talk about mental health at all. People think like if you talk about mental health, it's like you're crazy, you're depressed, you're negative, I don't want to be with you. Now people are a bit more open to talk about mental health, but I don't think equally we need to hang ourselves too much like, oh, I struggle with mental health. Like, not everything is that serious, as long as you can find a way to navigate your way through it. I think that's the important lesson, which is one of the key message that actually what I find interesting is that we just need to be able to reach out for help and support when we need it. We are all individuals. It's going to be hard. We all go through hardships on our own. Not everyone sees the dark side of us, but it's important that when we feel it, we reach out for help. We reach out for support. There's a community that you can rely on, who doesn't necessarily need to understand you, but at least can listen to you. And I find it interesting because every time I speak to somebody on like the mental health, on the other side of the person, someone who is struggling, when we say, oh, do you want to speak to somebody, they always say the same thing, which is like, no one will help me, no one will listen to me, no one cares. And it's like, that's not true, because you're speaking to someone, a stranger on the other side of a phone, who actually cares about you feeling better, who actually cares about you finding an answer, finding a solution, and care about you feeling a bit less worse about where you are now. But it's that mindset, right? It's like, I don't think anyone cares about me. I don't think he will listen to me. I don't think she has got enough time for me, and all this sort of stuff. It's like, no, if you just reach out for help, reach out for support through the right channels, then someone will be able to help and listen to you. And I can't stress how important being able to reach out for help and support actually is, or just to talk about it, right? Like I cannot just resolve the mental health issue inside my own head. I have to talk to somebody to get some perspective.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I'm very concerned about people who experience like severe mental health problems, let's say, and they refuse to reach out for help because they believe that no one will help them.
Mm.
But at the same time, I'm not pissed because it would be exaggerated, but I'm a bit unsatisfied. No. I don't like when people with, let's say, mild mental health problems, let's say, they exaggerate them and they use them as an excuse for not doing something.
Yep.
Because let's be honest, like uh, growing awareness of mental health issues, of mental health overall, is 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 good in
Mm-hmm.
its idea, because we are then trying to open ourselves about our mental health problems, and
Mm-hmm.
we are also trying to realize that there are people out there who are hiding their mental health problems, right? But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, it opened, like, let's say, like a gate for people who who are unsuccessful in certain way in their life. It's an open gate for them to find an excuse for their lack of success. And they will say things like, oh, I have, I don't know,
Depression.
maybe depression, but sometimes even something like, I don't know, eating disorders or whatever. Like,
Mm.
for example, oh, let's say you are overweight, and instead of saying, okay, I'm overweight because I eat sweets and I love them, and I don't work out enough, and I eat too much, you will just say, oh, I'm having eating disorders because of X, or I'm having this because of Y. And actually, very often people like to have an explanation for their, let's say, lack of acting upon a problem,
Mm.
instead of acting upon a problem, right? So
Mm.
that's the issue,
Mm.
that because we became so aware and concerned about mental health issues, people starting some people started to overuse them for their own
Ex-
good, to
exactly.
look better in other people's eyes, to say, oh, I'm fat because I'm having eating disorders. Oh, so it's mental health issue, so we cannot criticize someone for being fat, even though they don't feel good being fat, because
Mm.
if you are fat and you feel good about it, and you don't care if someone calls you fat, then that's not a problem, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you have a problem with someone calling you fat and you don't act upon it, then sorry, but it's a problem with you. Like,
Yeah,
let's be
I, I
honest.
I completely agree. I think when as we're talking about the idea of mental health, etc., there will be a lot of people who actually overuse this or use this as an excuse to not do something, right? Like you say, whether it's addressing, I don't know, smoking issues or not wanting to exercise, being fat, or whatever it is. I think that definitely it. But I think what I so agree with you on is, at the end of the day, do you actually feel good about saying that? Because the truth is, if you're really struggling, if you have genuine mental health issues, you would really you seek out for professional help and support, right? Because that makes you feel good about it because you're doing something about it. But if you're not, and then you're lying, you're only lying to yourself, right? Like you just only don't want to do something, and then you want people to kind of think better about you not doing something. It's like, I don't know who you're trying to lie to, but you're just lying to yourself about not doing it at the end of the day. It's just so.
Yeah, and you know what I'm thinking is that, let's say, the society is progressing with, let's say, the power of excuses. I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a sociologist, or I'm just an observer of the world, and I just make my own conclusions. And one of the conclusions is that, let's say, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, people used to say that, oh, I'm eating too much because I'm stressed, I'm smoking because I'm stressed, I'm drinking because I'm stressed, I'm doing drugs because I'm stressed, right? And
Hmm,
now it's not stress, it's very often you hear depression, right?
hmm,
So I'm eating too much because I have a depression. I'm smoking because I have a depression. I'm drinking because I have a depression. I'm doing drugs because I'm depressed. I have a depression. So what will be the next stop? Like, what will be the next stop for of let's say, big excuse for society? Like, what would be next big excuse for society for not achieving, not only doing bad things like eating too much, drinking, smoking, doing drugs, because these are like problems, negative behaviors.
hmm.
But not achieving when you want to achieve is also a negative behavior, but very often it's not classified as a negative behavior
Yeah.
by the let's say, by the society in general.
Yeah, I think what we're trying to say is that if you're ambitious, if you want to do something, you not achieving it does not and then you experience a little bit of stress of not achieving it does not necessarily mean you have a positive mental health issues, and that to stop you from explaining this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I completely agree. I think this is the main thing that people, this is the hard truth that people needs to hear, right? Yes, if you have genuine mental health issues, you should seek professional advice, seek professional help, who will be able to support you. There are lots of volunteering services that will help you out because some people genuinely suffer from that. Fine, please go ask for professional help. But I think going back to hold this point is, yes, there are lots of people who also overuse this as an excuse to not do something, and that's not okay. Um,
Or even my advice would be different. If you are a person who believes that have even mild mental health issue, go check yourself with psychologist, psychiatrist, and probably they will tell you that you don't have this problem,
mm,
because you you convinced yourself that you have a problem. So if you are if you are not able to let's say reverse it, get rid of this conviction, go find third party validation for your conviction. Check
mhm.
whether your conviction about your mental health is true.
Yeah, completely.
Challenge it.
Completely. Yeah. It's like if you really have an issue, if you go get it checked out, at least you get professional validation, right? You're like, yes, there is an issue. Let's help you out. If you don't have an issue, you're going to find a different solution to solve that problem anyway. So, in the net effect, it's also positive because you find a solution to the answer, right? So, I think either way, as long as you're finding solution to a problem, the process of finding that solution is always going to turn out to be positive because you're going to find out one way or the other because you're willing to try. And that's the whole point, which is as long as that's why when people reach out to mental health services and say, I want to kill myself or whatever, we know that there's a high chance of helping them and saving their lives because they're actually looking for a solution
for
inside
solution.
them. Yeah. So it's very interesting, but yeah, there's so much we can dive into, but yeah, we're coming up to time now, which which we need to end soon.
One last thing
Yeah, go for
from
it.
myself. So I know that we went slightly different way when it comes to the topic
It's fine.
of tonight's episode. But one general advice from me: if you are set, if you are willing to achieve something as a hustler, whatever it is, sports, you want to be a hustler in your personal life, you want to be a hustler of your family, you want to be a hustler in entrepreneurship, art, science, whatever it needs, let's say this uh, ultra focus, ultra commitment, you need to take care of your body first. Then you can take care of your mental health that will
Mm,
help you to achieve those things. Like your physical health and your mental health are crucial to achieve things in your
yeah,
life.
yeah.
But the sequence is physical health first, then mental health. Like
Mm,
if you are missing on things in your physical uh, health, there is very low to no chance that you will fix your mental health first.
mm,
Start exercising, eat good, sleep good, and then take care of your mental health. Or maybe there will be no need for radical actions when it comes to your mental health when you complete things related to your physical health.
mm. Yeah, you're right. And it's scientifically proven that your physiology does connect with your psychology. They go hand in hand. It's not like they're separate, they are together. So yes, very valid. Sounds good. I enjoyed it. That was good.
Okay, so that's it for tonight.
Indeed.
Follow us on Instagram. Follow us. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us or subscribe. What's the button on Spotify? I think it's follow, right?
Mm,
On Spotify. So follow our livecast podcast on Spotify if you want to re-listen to those episodes when you are like on the bus, at the gym, at work, whatever you are doing, and you want to just listen to two nice voice in the background. I just updated episodes today because I realized that I haven't done it for some time. So
oh, that's
so
fun.
I uploaded six
In
of
one
our
go.
episodes today in one go.
Wow.
Actually, one of the crypto episodes had 9 plays. I know it doesn't sound much, but for us, it's quite a lot. So
Wow,
so
really? Nine
so
plays. Wow.
yeah, and actually, the statistics are interesting because almost half of our listeners on Spotify are from the US.
How interesting.
Yeah, how interesting, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
listen to two people in Europe.
yeah. Okay,
Okay.
cool. So that's it for tonight. See you next week, and take care of your physical health, and then take care of your mental health.